Hi, I wanted to share with you something that came up in one of my recent classes that I am teaching. That was a very interesting conversation that I thought would be of interest to you and something for you to consider, which is we were having a discussion about looking backwards at our choices, but specifically looking at a handful of them that have set the foundation upon which we're proud to stand. And one of the participants shared that there was a choice that she hadn't made. And I said, often the choices that we don't make are just as important and powerful as the choices we do make. So I suggest this to you as something to reflect upon, kind of from two vantage points. On the one hand, you can look backwards to consider where in your life was there a time where you consciously chose to not do? Maybe you chose to not take a particular job, or you chose to not date a particular person, or you chose to not go on a particular adventure. It could be something even much smaller than that. You chose to not take a class that you were considering. It could be very, very small. But the interesting thing to reflect upon is what came because you said no. Sometimes when you say no, and of course you close the door to one thing, it now opens the door for another. I recall vividly, and this is like more than 20 years ago, I had the opportunity. I had lived in San Francisco, moved back to New York, was just getting married, and had the opportunity to move back to San Francisco for another job. And it was an amazing job. But in doing the pro and con and all of those things, I chose to not do. And I chose to stay in New York, and I went on the path that I did. And there are often times I reflect upon that choice and I think, is that something to be regretful that I didn't do? But the truth is, I made the best decision that I could in the moment with what I had when I made it. So, and of course, other things opened up because I didn't do that and because I stayed in New York. So, I say that as something to look at with regard to your past. But also, as you're sitting in present time, consider as things present themselves to you, which they do all the time, notice what you choose to say no to consciously, and therefore where you're being shifted to say yes. And again, the unfolding that happens because you let go of one avenue and chose to move into the other. So just consider this. Part of what I love about choices is noticing what you notice. So it's a lot of awareness. So this is just a fun new way to stay conscious to what it is that you have done as what it is that you are doing. All right, take care.